It's Monday, y'all. And it's time for another Germdee's Living Room. Today on the show, we're going to discuss bootlegs. Why they're so important, and why they're on the front line of the culture jam. I grew up at a time, guys, where bootlegs, they were a serious thing. Here's a knockoff tape of Talking Heads speaking in tongues. I kept that spirit with me. Here's some toys. Son Goku teenage years. Ninja Kermit. Kid Buu. Super deformed robots. And of course, SpongeBob playing golf. Bootlegs are super important on the war against the corporations. Well, we gotta stop that. Or else the corporations will come after me on copyright infringement and not let this poignant video make its way to you. For you see, bootlegs are what the people want, but bootlegs are what the corporations hate. For you see, you could have an N64 and pay to play Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. Or you could get a cartridge that has all the games inside. You could have a Sega Genesis and have 112 games in one. Or you could love the corporations and get yourself a Sonic not for resale cartridge and pay to play. If I want to play Mega Man X on an Xbox, it's my right. How many times do I have to pay to play Mega Man X4? Well, I never paid the first time. But that's what the principle of bootlegging is, y'all. If someone paid once, why we gotta pay again and again and again and again? If the corporations had it their way, we'd lose all our money. The Ghostbuster movies, Terminator 5, and other constant reloads of our favorite franchises. And that's why it's so important that you take up the fight. The bootleg fight. And you start making your own incredible knockoffs. Garfield, Yin Yang Lucky Cat. An incredible hand-painted canvas by your boy. On tickets and stuff. Message me if you want to buy it. It's totally for sale. Look, I get it. I know people love Garfield. And that's why my merch is bootlegs. Everything I do, Garfield, bootleg. Do it later, bootleg. But I want to inspire you to do it too. You know, as a kid, a lot of my time was spent reading Garfield, having cereal, watching cartoons. I'm a grown-ass adult, and I'm still doing those things. In fact, I've made my whole entire career based around making my own comic. My comics are called bootleg comics. They're single-panel gags that use characters from around the world to tell a joke. I believe it's something incredibly important for our society, but cannot be done if we go about it legally. For you see, Jim Davis is a role model for me. I love Garfield and what he stands for in our society and our culture. And that's why I use him in my jokes and my gags. It's an homage to Jim Davis and what he accomplished. It's to take nothing away from him. For that man was a genius, and his work was phenomenal. But if I have to pay the corporations the right on all the different characters that I use to tell my jokes, well then, they wouldn't make any sense. But Garfield can make a lot of money, y'all. And that's why he will be used by others. And none worse than the ones known as the corporations. In our culture nowadays, there's people who sign licenses and pay large amount of fees to make sure that they can use a Garfield graphic and make money. But you, sir, you can't. And you know what? To all those people who paid licenses, show me one of them. Just one of them. That made an actual nice Garfield shirt that you would wear. You can't. But in the bootleg world, do it later. Garfield would totally wear it. And that's why bootlegging is so important. It's a story as old as time, guys. The conflict of the rich versus the poor. And that's why I believe it's a fight worth undertaking. Popular culture characters like Garfield, Sonic, Bart Simpson were made famous by the people, not the corporations. It was the people who decided who they related to and who they would put on a pedestal as their icon for various characteristics. It is after that a corporation decides, and by corporation I mean a group of rich people who are seeking to take advantage of this. And they come in and they ensure all things are covered, aka no one else can compete with them. And that they, 24th Century Fox and others, will control the imagery of our icon. Which I fundamentally, philosophically believe is unfounded. If we the people have decided that this is our God, then there is no clergy that can come in between us and our God to tell us who and what our God can do. For it's blasphemy. They could make Sonic do the wackest shit if they wanted, because they paid. And that is culturally unaccepted. Because we own Sonic. We are Sonic. And we decide how cool he gonna be. And when he gonna be cool. And how and when he gonna be cool. And that's why you have to bootleg. Because if you don't bootleg, then they have total and utter control. And then there is no contrast between what is culturally relevant and what is whack consumerism. We live in a world of you need to buy this. This right here, this is the thing that you like, now you buy it. And here it is in this plastic form. And here it is in this plastic form. Without bootlegs, you're just going to consume and consume and consume endless garbage. Plastic-shaped garbage. But if you participate in the act of bootlegging, then people will see the difference between a culturally relevant art piece made by a local artist using the icon that the people like, and a corporate piece of garbage that bought the icon and is trying to masquerade it in the sea of consumerism. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you will join me and my other janky Z fighters in the war against cultural blasphemy. And to all you out there that thought that Germdee was just putting Bart Simpson in a painting to sell it, well, now they know. There's so much more going on. But it's only for those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. This has been Germdee's Living Room. I hope you join me in the war of cultural appropriation.